It is day 9 of my 9-day trip around Central Europe. I am in Switzerland. Thus far on my trip, I've been in Slovakia, Austria, and Switzerland, 3 countries. Yet today, the final day of my trip, I expect to be in 5 countries. We'll see how that works out. I'll be starting off, well, like I said, I'm in Switzerland, but the next country is going to be a very small one and a surprise, so stay tuned. I'm still in Switzerland, have not made it out of the country yet, and as with just about everywhere else here, it is incredibly beautiful. I'm at a place called Wallen, or rather Lake Wallen. Take a look at this. And I guess if you want to take in this view, you can catch it from this swing set. Pretty nice view for a swing set. Well, I'm now straddling 2 countries. I am in no man's land in between Switzerland and the Principality of Liechtenstein, one of Europe's microstates. I guess right now I am literally in both countries. Maybe you can see that there's this stone back here, which I guess marks the border. Liechtenstein is a country of approximately 37,000 people. I've actually been cruising around it a little bit. There's not a whole lot of action, but apparently there are something like 10 or so different municipalities here. I don't know how you have so many municipalities in a country of 37,000 people, but it's very scenic. There are some castles. Here's a smaller one in the background. I'm going to try to show you. Maybe I can't. But yeah, that's a little castle on the hill right over there, which is right in front of mountains that are in Switzerland. And I'll give you a glimpse at a little more of Liechtenstein, so take a look.
Some people are pretty pissed off.
We've now entered Vaduz, the capital of Liechtenstein. According to Wikipedia, there are 11 municipalities in this microstate of 37,000 people. From what I've heard, this capital, Vaduz, is overflowing with money and the streets are paved with gold. No, not literally, but I want to see what it's like. So welcome to the main pedestrian drag of Vaduz and Liechtenstein. I guess it's called Stettler is the name of the... Oh, there we go, Stettler. And it's pretty nice for a town of 4,000 people. I mean 9,000. There's a 4-star hotel right here called the Residence. There, you see the 4 stars in this town of 9,000. The prince's home, the castle is right above here, but we're gonna have to drive up there to give you a view. There's a little peek of the castle before I head up there, which I'm gonna do right now. Well, this is it. Schloss Vaduz, Vaduz Castle. It's where the Prince of the Principality of Liechtenstein lives. It was a bit of a tongue twister for me. It's looking down on a large chunk of the country which is facing Switzerland. Those mountains you see are in Switzerland, and the other side of that river is Switzerland. Liechtenstein is very oriented toward Switzerland. They use the Swiss franc here. They rely on Switzerland for military defense and even manning one of their borders, from what I understand. Here they speak, from what I hear, a combination of Austrian and Swiss German, but like Switzerland and unlike Austria, Liechtenstein is not a member of the European Union. It is, however, a member of the European Economic Area, which Switzerland is not, but it's quite similar to Switzerland in that it's a banking hub, it's a financial center. There are apparently some tax schemes that allow a lot of businesses to have some sort of subsidiary here, so they reduce their taxes based on trade agreements with the EU and whatnot. Liechtenstein has the second highest per capita GDP in the world, something like $140,000 a person. So people here are quite well off, although there is very little going on here in this country of 37,000 people. We are now in Austria to get petrol, actually. That's the primary reason of our visit to Austria. We're in a town called Lustenau. Is that what? Lustenau. And we crossed back into Switzerland from Liechtenstein and then crossed into Austria from Switzerland. And these borders are interesting with regard to who's got what type of union with which country. So Switzerland and Liechtenstein have a customs union. I want to flip this camera around. Okay, so all day I am joined by Christian, my gracious driver and tour guide, and he's explained to me all the details about the border crossings and who's got which union with whom here in Central Europe. So Liechtenstein, Christian, Liechtenstein and Switzerland have what kind of union?
Liechtenstein and Switzerland have a currency union because Liechtenstein also uses the Swiss franc, and they also have a customs union as far as... Oh, have we arrived?
Yeah, we're looking for some special petrol station. This might be it. 1.114. Oh, that was diesel. Well, I don't know what we're looking for.
Sorry about the chaos now.
No problem. So we crossed from Switzerland to Liechtenstein and back. There was no border. They've got a customs union. They've got currency union. Apparently they're Swiss police manning Liechtenstein's border with Austria. But then here, going from Switzerland to Austria, there is a border checkpoint, although we didn't stop at it. I guess it's a customs checkpoint. They're not actually looking at passports. I don't think they are. They're not regulating immigration, but they are regulating goods, or at least they're supposed to be goods coming in and out of the EU. Austria is in the EU and Switzerland is not, and Switzerland is not in the European Economic Area, as is the case with Liechtenstein. So it's interesting looking at the different borders and the setups and the trade relations between these countries here in Central Europe. And Christian's an expert in that because he's got a business involved in this. Back in Switzerland. Well, can you see that D? That's a D for Deutschland. And here's the S for Switzerland. I have now hit country number 4 today on another one of these borders. I'm not supposed to film the checkpoints, but it's another one of those EU-Switzerland borders where they have customs people who are occasionally checking goods that you're bringing in and out of the country. There's not much action at this checkpoint, but here you go. Here's country number 4, and I've been driving around this very beautiful lake. What's the name of this lake? Say it again.
Bodensee.
Tell people about this area.
About this area.
Yeah.
Bodensee is one of the biggest lakes in Europe. I don't know the how manyth, but it's pretty big. From east to west, it's 80 kilometers. From north to south, roughly 20. Konstanz is a town in Germany on the Bodensee, one of the nicest towns in Germany, if not the nicest town in Germany. And especially in Konstanz, you can have the advantage of living in Switzerland and accessing all German services, because German services are usually pretty cheap, while living in Switzerland gives you better tax opportunities than in Germany, where Uncle Wolfgang, our Minister of Finance, takes everything from you.
How far is the drive from Konstanz to, say, Zurich?
From Konstanz to Zurich, it's 45 minutes. It's 65 kilometers.
Well, that's very useful. Useful information, crowd, if you want to save some money or make some money in Central Europe. Now crossing back from Germany into Switzerland across
Rhine River.
the Rhine River, which apparently right down here is where the Rhine River begins, but you don't have a very good view of it, and I'm going to cause a traffic accident, so I'm going to quit. Okay, clarification. That was the Rhine River. The Rhine River does begin right around here, but the bridge is not the border between Switzerland and Germany. We're now approaching that border. There. Minor clarification. Back in Zurich, Switzerland, where my Swiss journey began. I'm waiting to board a bus. Have been waiting for a while. The bus is taking off. Looks like it's going to take off about an hour late, so I don't think I will be reaching my 5th country before sundown, but I still should be reaching that 5th country today. I have reached Euro Airport, which is right by the city of Basel, Switzerland, yet it is in France, which is my 5th and final country of the day. I started out in Switzerland and I hit Liechtenstein, Austria, Germany, and now France, and I hopped back and forth across borders a whole bunch of times. I can't count how many times I've been in each country. And actually I started out this 9-day trip around Central Europe with the plan of visiting a total of 4 countries, yet in the last 12 hours I have been in a total of 5 countries. Funny how things work out. This has been an enjoyable trip in Central Europe. I got to see Bratislava in Slovakia, and then attended the Hoyereka conference in Vienna. You can watch videos about all of this stuff in separate videos on this channel. Visited a refugee friend of mine and had some very interesting discussions with him in Switzerland. Actually, I got to see how refugees live in Switzerland, which is quite interesting. It's a very wealthy country, and it is very peculiar for there to be a bunch of refugees there, but they are there and they're managing, and it seems like Switzerland's managing. Maybe I'll discuss this in a separate video, how refugees are integrating or not in Switzerland. If you are so interested, feel free to request that topic. Well, so now my journey in Central Europe is coming to an end. Euro Airport is my final destination. If you enjoyed this video and if you enjoyed the other videos that I produced on this trip, please leave them a like on YouTube and subscribe to the channel And if you'd like to see more of them, speak up. If you have any questions about travel or Europe or the European Union in general, feel free to ask. I'd be glad to answer. And for now, I guess I have got to say au revoir this time from Euro Airport in Central and now maybe Western Europe. All right, goodbye.